How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for doing this again.
Yeah.
For me.
I kind of have to. There's a gun under the chair. Like, you have to be here. Yeah. As your first client,
Yeah.
I have been the recipient of concoctions, blood tests, supplements, like basically anything. I am your guinea pig, essentially. So I think we should talk about my experience in like my health.
Yeah.
So
tell me, take me through your challenges. Like, when you were growing up, what are the things that, you've been trying different things because you read a lot as well.
Yeah.
You're very into the whole game of health and stuff, and you read a lot as well.
Yeah.
And you've had, you're not a sporty person that much. So, the physical part of it, that you're not exercising that much. And that was like a major thing that now you've overcome. So tell me a little bit more about your journey. Like, from teenage to now, like, what is it that you have struggled with, and what are the things that you've discovered?
Yeah. I think so growing up, my issue was that, I didn't like sports. I didn't like to move. I actually hated it, like the most in the world. And on top of that, I love food.
Yeah.
Like I think love is an understatement. I think I'm obsessed with food. Every memory I have is associated with food. So that combination is very deadly. And I think growing up it was okay because obviously in school you move around a lot and you're doing a lot. But basically in the last 2 years of school, during COVID and applications and all of that stress, all of these things sort of compounded where I was going out to eat all of the time and I wasn't moving at all because it's, if you live in a place like Delhi, it's quite hard to move your body unintentionally. Like you have to consciously think like, okay, I'm going out and I'm going to do 10K steps. So that itself is really hard. So in those 2 years, I think maybe the stress got the better of me and I just I put on a lot of weight. But it wasn't just weight, it was water weight also. You could see that my face was very inflamed and I was falling sick every other week.
Oh yeah.
Twice a month I would fall sick for a week. So that's basically half my year gone into being sick.
Yeah.
So I mean, how hard it was.
And you also felt very tired all the time.
Very tired. Constantly tired. I mean, my friends, it would be like a joke amongst my friends. They're like, oh my God, you always say you're tired. You're always complaining. Because every day was just, I was so tired all of the time. So then when I went to the UK for my university, eased into, a more healthy lifestyle. Because over there, you have to walk. So 10K steps every day was
average.
And on top of that, I was cooking for myself. And, doing that, it sort of things started, getting better, health-wise. But it was still, I still had the same problems of feeling tired and all of that. So the inflammation had gone down, but it was still bad. And then, and my weight fluctuates a lot. So it's very easy for me to put on weight and, lose weight. So these were all
you put on weight very easily and you lose weight
very easily.
Okay.
So yeah, and then I picked up going to the gym in the UK. And I think at that time I started getting into fitness online, what people would say, the only way to lose weight is being in a calorie deficit and you should, focus on your protein. So that was kind of all I was focusing on. I was just tracking my calories and doing the thing. And my weight did decrease, but it was very hard to stay at that level. Even after I've lost the weight, I'm still it's so easy for me to gain it back again.
Okay.
So then when I came back, after the 3 years, there were other problems that started to come up. My hair was thinning, which is, unheard of for me because my hair is usually really big.
Very thick, yeah.
And I started I think my periods got increasingly worse.
Yeah.
And on top of that,
pain, clots and
yeah. So although I had increased my muscle mass, I was moving more, I still, those fundamental problems hadn't gone away. So because of that, I think when I came back, you were you need to get a blood test now. So yeah, I got my blood test, and then the markers kind of showed us that it was, I mean, I still don't really know if it is PCOS or pointing to PCOS. And, I got an ultrasound done, and, it was shown on the scan that I had cysts. So after that, I was like, it was quite hard for me to hear because online, like I went online after that, as one does, and I spiraled because everywhere it was like, you can't cure it. This is it. Like, you're done. You can only manage your symptoms, and that's it. And I was like, I've just been like, somebody's just said this. It's like a life sentence. That's what it felt like.
Or a diagnosis, or like diagnosis of something that you have to live with. Kind of thing.
Yeah. And I was like, this is like going to change my whole life, like how I approach things. And I was like, wait, my mom, she does this for a living. Why don't I ask her? No. So she, told me like, no, don't panic.
The other thing that we thought was an alarm bell was the spotting intermittent.
Oh yes. Yeah. I would spot like every month after cardio.
Yeah.
Like every time I would do cardio, I would get like cramps, and I would spot. It was like a mini period, and that was really concerning. I think that's when the alarm bells started ringing.
Yeah.
So then you said, just give me 3 months, and
we can do this.
We can do this.
Yeah.
And yeah.
But I think the one of the main factors was that when you came back, you had time.
Yeah.
Because otherwise
unemployed.
Yeah. I mean, taking a break and just focusing on your health, it was an opportunity. We had a window, like, from September till December. I think we thought that, okay, this is the time. We've not signed up for anything.
Yeah.
There are no assignments and no submissions
stress.
And no projects and no stress and stuff like that. So we have a window of 3 months where we can do things.
Yeah.
Now, how I picked up, because I was picking up things from the symptoms, because I was not, we didn't do the blood test before.
Yeah.
So you told me that you're spotting, and then we went to the gynecologist, and she said nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
You just, if it comes back, come back. Otherwise, nothing to be done.
Yeah.
But then, I have this obsessive habit of oiling your hair, right?
Yeah.
So I oil your hair, and I oil Navyasara's hair every week. It's a ritual that we do, So when I was oiling your hair, because I've oiled your hair throughout, like from when you were a kid, so I could see that there was thinning happening. And I told you that 2 days I couldn't sleep in the night because I was so worried. Like, I was like, this looks like PCOS, and I don't know how to tell you.
Yeah.
How do I address this, and how do I, make sure that this is not what I'm overthinking it.
Yeah.
So then I spoke to you, and then you told me that, yes, I can also see some thinning, and you have taken pictures before, and we could see it from after pictures, before pictures, and we could see that there was some. You still had a good volume, but there was thinning that was happening around from this area, from the crown area. Yeah. And then we thought, okay, we'll just get some basic tests done.
Yeah.
In the tests, we saw that, so we got some tests done, right? So we saw that your insulin was high, right? So that was one of the markers that was high. The second thing that I picked up was that your sugar levels were absolutely fine. So this is something that there are a lot of people who miss out on this, that they see their HbA1c. You know what HbA1c is?
No.
So HbA1c is the average sugar levels in your body over past last 3 months. Okay. So let's say it comes out. So anything under 5.4, there's a marker. So anything under 5.4 is okay. Now, what we see in young girls like you, like in your 20s, your sugar levels are absolutely fine because your body is still managing your sugar really well, because as soon as you eat, your food converts into glucose. That glucose cannot stay in the blood. It needs to go inside the cell. Right. Otherwise, it can become toxic for your body. So what the body is trying to do is that, okay, I've got this glucose that she's eaten now. I've got the glucose. Let me just put it back in the cell as quickly as possible. So when you're younger, obviously the body is quite robust, so it's able to do that very quickly. So when you look at your sugar levels, they're absolutely fine. But then when I checked your insulin, it was 10 point something. So it was.
And what is
if your insulin is working well? So for example, if your food, you've eaten, food gets converted into glucose, insulin gets released from pancreas, and its job is to put the glucose into the cell. right? So it opens the door of the cell and it lets the sugar in. Now, if you are healthy and your insulin is working really well, and I do an insulin fasting test first thing in the morning where you've not eaten for 12 hours, well, there should not be any insulin in your body, technically, right? So it should come less than 5.
Oh gosh.
Right? So now if it is coming around 10, for some girls I've seen that it comes around 15, 12 kind of a thing. So fasting figure of insulin, where you've not eaten for 8-10 hours, why is there insulin still floating in your body? So that indicates that your body is actually not able to cope with the sugar that's going in, and so it's releasing more and more insulin in your body. And then when the sugar levels will start going up after 4 to 5 years of insulin being raised.
Okay, yeah.
So insulin will keep going up and it'll so for example, I release 5 units and I do the same job. You are releasing 10 units and doing the same job. Somebody else might be releasing 20 units and doing the same jobs of putting the glucose back into the cell.
Yeah.
So, so sugar levels look okay, and you look at your figures and you're like, this is perfectly fine. I don't have to do anything. And you can be sent back by your doctor so many times saying that there is nothing wrong.
Yeah.
However, I mean, this is something that I'll request everyone to do is test your insulin fasting figure. Very, very important.
Yeah.
Even, the lab reports that you see, there is now, you can run a PCOS panel. Right? So in PCOS panel also sometimes insulin fasting test is missing. So they don't test, they just test the sugar levels. Which is quite bizarre. But so you should ask for insulin fasting figure.
Yeah.
Now what happens is that insulin is floating in your body and doing the same job of sugar, controlling your sugar levels. This insulin is basically what causes hormonal imbalance in your body. So your insulin is high, then it pushes the testosterone level, then it pushes, the estrogen level, and then over a period of time you will see that PCOS symptoms will start coming back.
So would you say that insulin and PCOS are like intertwined, like they're the same issue? So would you is it possible for somebody to develop like insulin resistance but not PCOS? Like what makes it happen?
That's a very good question. So if it is possible that you might be insulin resistant and putting on all the weight but then not have PCOS, because you could just have a very robust reproductive system.
Okay, yeah.
Right, so it's not affecting it. But if you are someone who actually is predisposed to a hormonal imbalance, then it will start affecting. So more insulin exposure means more testosterone. More testosterone means, just androgens floating in your body, and that then starts giving you PCOS symptoms.
Okay. Yeah.
So insulin, I mean, even if you don't look at testosterone, just high insulin in your body all the time will cause inflammation. And that inflammation will then start causing hair fall as well.
And would you say general inflammation is like a sign of PCOS or like any medical issue?
Yes.
Like if you're just generally
inflamed. Yeah. So then that will be a sign that there's something wrong, because inflammation is a defense mechanism of the body.
Yeah.
So let's say, for example, you get bruised today over here, you will get inflammation here, right? Because that's body's defense mechanism. Oh, I need to seal this. I need to, repair it. So let me just go and raise the temperature a little bit of that area, so that if there are any bacterial infections that could come in through the bruise that you've got, it can protect that. So it will give you a little heat in that area. You'll feel a little hot. You'll feel a little inflammation. Inflammation is nothing but basically your defense mechanism that's come into action, and it's trying to repair that area.
Right.
Now, if the body is picking up that there is something wrong with the body, then it will increase your inflammation.
Yeah.
So inflammation is the root cause of everything. So once you get the inflammation come down, then you will see that everything will start coming down.
Yeah.
Even when you're stressed, like very stressed, like you're preparing for exams and there's chronic inflammation, or we've seen people who tend to get very anxious or depressed, they will also have high inflammatory markers.
Right, yeah.
Because their generally body is under threat, and it starts to release more inflammation, release more, those kind of defense mechanism which can help you repair.
Yeah.
So it's doing its job, but it is a sign that there is something wrong which is trying to repair.
I mean, I see it all the time, like online, where people are like, "Oh, you have cortisol phase." Cortisol phase is like a huge thing. I don't know if it's because, is it because people have kind of picked up the buzzword cortisol? Like, does it actually mean cortisol phase, or is it just?
I think they've picked it up. It's like a very, very like a buzzword these days. Everybody's talking about cortisol. What should I do about cortisol? No, you just reduce your inflammation.
Right.
reduce your anything that is stressing your body, which is basically eating a lot out from junk that you're eating, or when you not sleeping, so your repair is not taking place.
Right. Yeah.
Like if you've slept well, you will see the next day your inflammation will come down. If you've not slept, then you'll feel that you have puffed up eyes, because if you slept only for 3 to 4 hours. So all those things will increase inflammation. So you need to then check that, okay, if insulin is up. So in your case, so like coming back to your blood tests, so we saw that your lipid profile was a little high. So, triglycerides and, fats, all that lipid profile was a little elevated. The insulin was a little high. Rest everything was, liver profile was, the liver markers were a little off.
Right. But nothing out of range, right? Everything was within range, but just on the higher side.
Just a borderline. Everything was like borderline. So you could see that there is something wrong. Then we kept quiet for some time. We were like, okay, yeah, this is, we'll just see how things go. And then we were going for some other tests. We thought we'll get an ultrasound done as well, right?
Yeah.
So we got the ultrasound done, and that confirmed PCOS.
Yes.
So that is when we thought, okay, now let's...
Polycystic ovarian morphology.
Yes.
Which means that the physical, like in the ovary, you can see the
polycystics. Yeah. So lots of follicles sitting on your ovaries, and that basically, it's a morphology was polycystic.
Yes.
But it did not confirm like PCOS, but it was the morphology which was looking a little away. So then we thought, okay, now that we can see the symptoms, there are blood tests which are pointing towards that, and then we've seen the ultrasound, so let's do something about it.
What were the main things?
So the main thing was that I could see is that we wanted to cut down on the fats because there was more fat going in your diet.
Yeah.
Now tell me how the fat was going on in your diet. Like tell me, what sort of stuff that you were eating which you thought was good and still was more fattening.
So I mean, I guess I really like cheese, dairy, like anything fatty, anything sweet and salty. So that I would generally gravitate towards anyways. And then on top of that, I guess I was eating out a lot.
Yes.
Like, I think I didn't register how much I was because, every time you meet somebody, it's over like lunch or dinner. And the whole system is kind of set up against you. Or even if I don't meet anyone, like I'll go for a coffee and I'll have a sandwich or I'll have this. But I didn't realize how bad all of these things were for me. But yeah.
So mainly dairy. And then there was, what about non-vegetarian food?
Non-veg, like I would eat a lot because basically I was told like, protein is the key. You need protein to build muscle. Muscle like, spends more energy, so you lose weight. And so I was like, okay, I need to get my protein in. I wasn't taking any supplements, but my focus was
high protein.
Yeah.
Which would fill you up, obviously, because you will feel full with the small number of meals that you were eating in UK. And,
exactly.
Food, like getting food and just generally life is quite tough over there, right? Like you have to cook and make sure that there is food in the fridge and
and also like I think I wasn't really focusing on like my macros. I was just focusing on being in a calorie deficit. So if one meal was like if I did go out and I did have a muffin, then I wouldn't eat another meal.
Oh, that's a very important point then. That's what a lot of people do,
even
right?
though it's like within the calorie deficit, and yes, maybe I would be losing weight, but I wasn't, like even though people say, if you're in a calorie deficit, you will lose weight, it just wasn't working. And I also didn't really feel good in my body.
Yeah. So this is something that a lot of people do, that they calculate their calories and then they'll say, okay, within this calorie, I can afford to eat a pizza, or I can afford to eat that sugary drink that I'm really craving for, but I am within my calories. So what they do is that they give up on the natural whole meals, the homemade meals. But they'll say, okay, all day I'll not eat, and then I'll go for a big meal in the evening, which will you'll catch up with your friends, you'll eat a big meal, and that's only 1,000 calories. So I've eaten only 1,000 calories, and I did go to the gym, so I have burnt another 300 calories, so I can afford, and I'm still within my limits. But that is something which you have to do it the long route. You can't take a short route.
Exactly. There is no shortcut.
Yeah,
for this.
Because the thing is that what is worse than normal sugar? Even people think that you should give up sugar, you should give up jaggery, and you should give up normal chapati also, and you should give up the rice also because it's fattening and there is sugar in it, obviously, but there is sugar in the food that you eat from outside, there is a different kind of sugar, which is called, it's called, I am forgetting the name. It's called some starch. It is called, which is, for example, you've seen cornstarch. Have you heard of cornstarch?
Yes.
So, for example, low fat products, like for example, like a keto cookie or something, will have the cornstarch in it. Okay. So cornstarch, or there is wheat starch or modified starch. These are all industrial starches. Okay, which are used in foods which are basically manufactured on a commercial basis. So, for example, if there is a biscuit, or they will use that starch. If there are snacks, all kinds of chips and stuff like that, if you need any kind of starchy element to add a little bit more flavor, weight, and just that element of that, okay, you're eating something starchy, they will not use the starch that you get from wheat and the roti chapati that you eat at home. It's an industrial starch which basically spikes your sugar levels more than a spoonful of sugar as well.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that is what is probably causing the biggest problem, because we are not realizing that sugar from outside and sugar from inside the house are completely different things.
Yeah, and I guess it's less about, like, you need to look at less at the calories and more what the
quality of sugars. Sugar spike. So sugar spike will happen with outside food a lot.
Okay.
So same cookie that you will make at home will be fine. But if you get the same cookie from outside, which is like a little chocolate chip cookie, but it will have the industrial starch in it.
Okay.
That will give you more spike than the cookies that we make at home.
Right.
For you and Nantara. And there's like a ritual that we make something and then we eat it at home. So the other advantage is that if you make anything at home, the frequency of you making it becomes low, because you need, it's an effort. Like you have to bake cookies. You need ingredients. You need to put some time aside, and you need to put in 2 hours, and then you make the cookies, and then you eat them. So there is an effort involved in it. So automatically the frequency of you having them goes down, and when you really crave for it, you make it, and then you have it, you enjoy it. It's there in your cupboard for a week, and after that you have to make it again. Who's making it again now? So let's make it after 2 to 3 weeks, right? So that reduces the chances. But again, the quality of sugar that what I'm talking about, the cornstarch or the industrial starch which is there in the commercial sort of food that you're getting, so the pizza that you're getting or the protein shake that you're getting from outside, that also has industrial starch in it. So that will spike up your sugar levels. That will impact your insulin. And that will make you put on more weight.
Okay.
Because that will directly impact your liver.
Yeah, because it's true, because in the UK, this year itself, I started the year at, I think, 59 kgs. I'm 5'2". So 59, I reduced to 53.
Okay.
I did reduce, but I put on 4 again. By August.
Okay.
So it wasn't lost it, but then it was like I gained it back like this.
Yeah.
Because, I was meeting friends, I was like my last 2 months, and I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And it just bounced back. So that shows that even though, like, on paper, yes, it was working, I've still looked a bit inflamed. And
plus the hormonal imbalance and the PCOS and the hair thinning, all that come in that. In that time frame when you lost the weight.
Exactly.
So technically, if you've lost the weight, then you should look more brighter, and everything should come back in harmoniously. Back in balance. But that was not happening.
Yeah.
So then, what did we do? We basically worked on your liver, right? So what did we do? We basically did the complete clean eating. So we removed all the food from outside. Like you just did not eat at all from outside.
Yeah.
For how long?
So I would not eat at all, and then I would have one cheat meal
once a week. You'll go out with friends and
crazy.
Yeah.
So no junk, and I also cut out sugar. Added sugar, and I ate more fruits to kind of combat that. And then I didn't really realize the link between liver and PCOS.
Yes.
So why liver? Like, what does the liver do?
Yeah. So the liver basically digests all the fat, right? So whatever food that you eat, it everything that is fatty in nature will go to the liver, and liver will break it down.
Yeah.
So liver will release some bile. Bile is basically an emulsifying agent which basically breaks down the fat and converts it into energy. So the one thing that liver gets impacted by is too much of sugar consumption over a period of time. So what happens is, like, whatever food you've eaten, right? So it'll convert into glucose, but you don't need all the glucose in one go. You need it over a sustained, like, 3 to 4 hours. If you don't eat, you still need the energy. So glucose then gets converted into glycogen and gets stored in your liver. So now it's where it's storing itself.
So it's stored in the liver, like inside. Okay.
Yeah. So there's glycogen reserve in the liver.
Yeah.
And then every time you need some energy, it releases some glycogen, and then it converts into glucose and it gives you the energy.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, if the liver gets impacted by too much sugar consumption, so there's just way too much glycogen getting stored, and it's just getting tired of storing, it starts to become fat. So it becomes a fatty liver, right? Okay. So it starts to accumulate that sugar. Then you will see, if you see it under a scan, the liver actually literally becomes fat. So you can actually see that it's a fatty liver, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. So, in an ultrasound, you can see that if there's a layer of fat over it, that means it's becoming fat now.
Yeah.
Now, when it becomes fat, then it becomes lazy. And then when it becomes lazy, it just basically just gives you energy, whenever it's required, but it's not getting rid of the glycogen completely.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, you can also...
That slows your metabolism.
That slows down your metabolism. So you basically have to clean your liver. Now, how do you clean your liver? Like, you get rid of that excess glycogen and the fat that has been sitting on the liver.
Yeah.
How do you do that? You cut down on the fat. Yeah. So stop eating any fatty foods.
Yes.
So that liver completely gets a break.
Which is in protein.
Which is in protein. In protein.
So I actually cut down on my protein intake.
Yeah.
I didn't have meat for the first few weeks.
Yeah.
I didn't have chicken.
No.
Or mutton.
Yeah. So you reduce that. So you reduce it quite significantly.
Yeah.
The other thing is sugar, because again, sugar is slowing down the liver because it's making more glycogen, and then it's getting...
And it's like an easy way, like it's an easy source of
energy. Yes.
Then there's no reason for the liver to reach into its store and use it.
Exactly.
So you kind of starve the liver.
Exactly. So it's like a fridge and freezer concept.
Yeah.
So Jason Fung, who's actually written a book called Diabetes Code, he explains this phenomena with this example, which is amazing, which is like, you have a fridge and you have a freezer. So, if the fridge gets empty, then only you will go to the freezer. So the freezer is your fat reserves, and your liver, which has excess of all this glycogen that it's storing within.
Yeah.
And so whatever you're eating, you keep eating, you get the energy from there. So the glucose, that small conversion takes place. So you're only eating from the fridge. You're not accessing your freezer. Right?
Yeah.
So when you start starving the liver and you don't eat...
You empty the fridge.
And then they say, like, okay, now I still need the energy. So where do I get my reserve from? So it will start tapping into your fat reserves. Then convert that into glycogen, and then from glycogen to glucose.
Yeah.
So that process, you have two levels of metabolism in your body.
Okay.
So if metabolism slows down because your second category of metabolism is not working. You're just burning whatever you're eating.
Got it. Yeah.
So there are two levels of metabolism in your body. So if your liver is clean, your metabolism will be very fast.
Yeah. My thyroid was okay. But I definitely did feel that my metabolism was slow.
That's because of liver.
I would be with my friends and they would eat the same amount as me, and I would just feel so sluggish afterwards.
Yeah.
So clearly there was, like, my body had slowed down.
Yes.
And this also was evident in my, like, periods. Like, I was getting clots. And you told me that clots are a sign of fat. in your system.
There's more fat in your system.
Because, like, the period is a detoxing of the body every month. So that also tells you, like, okay, what's wrong? And what is your body trying to get rid of? And that is fat. So all of these signs, like, pointed to the excess fat.
So obviously protein is a big thing which is in everybody's mind, but then protein comes with fat. So no chicken, no egg, no meat will come without the fat content in it. So you are taking the protein, which you think is very good for you, but you're overloading your liver again with fat. So then you're not really solving the problem. So what you need to do is, see, protein in nature comes in two forms. One, protein is attached with fat, which is all non-vegetarian food, all dairy, all cheese, all yogurt, everything. It is basically fat with protein. And then you have other options which you've been eating a lot, which is kala chana, chickpeas. You've been eating all the, moong dal, all the dals, that comes with protein and fiber.
Right. Yeah.
So protein and fiber is the ideal combination to get rid of that excess fat that's building in your body. Give you the protein, it will give you the fiber, which will again cleanse your liver, because liver cleanses with fiber. So if you have too much fiber in your body, liver will start to flush out toxins from your body. Because liver also stores a lot of toxins.
It's been happening, like on social media, everyone's like protein, 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 and now people are like fiber, 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 fiber. Oh, there's 2 types of fiber. There's insoluble, insoluble, and don't eat this and eat that. And it just goes to show that it's very surface level knowledge. You can't just follow anybody and what they're saying, because you can't cut out a food group, and you can't only eat one food group. You have to balance it out. Otherwise, this is what happens.
So if you hyper focus on protein, then you will not get the results in the long run. Protein also actually increases growth factor in your body, which is IGF, which basically increases your insulin in your body. And a lot of people don't know this, that high protein or protein supplements will increase your IGF level, which is growth factor. This growth factor will increase your cell proliferation, which is basically that it will start building more cells.
Right.
That it's a protein which is called mTOR. That protein starts to get activated in your body if you're having too much protein. And mTOR is actually directly linked to cancer. So high protein intake now has been established that it will over a period of time lead to cancer, because it will not let you break down your body's. So there's an inbuilt system in your body which is called autophagy. Autophagy is where you have lots of cells in your body. There are some cells which start to die after 120 days. Okay, so when your body actually gets rid of those cells, what is that material which is used to make those cells? Is protein. So what it does is that it starts to get rid of the old cells and starts to make its own protein through that. That's called autophagy, which is where you are using the dead cells of your body, which is basically a waste material, and converting it to protein and putting it back in your body.
So your body makes its own protein as well on top of that.
Exactly. So then if you keep putting protein in your body, your body will not go into autophagy. And that is where it increases the IGF, and then it increases the mTOR, and then it starts increasing the cellular growth, and then it leads to tumors, because there's like just too much cells multiplying.
That's really
So that's like the long-term thing. So young girls probably, and young population is probably not understanding it, because their bodies are still quite young and robust and has a lot of vitality. So you will not see the results of autophagy right now, but it starts to hit you in 40s and 50s when you are just having too much protein, and then at this, you are not kicking in the autophagy, and then that basically starts to give you more cancerous growth or inflammation and things like that. So over a period of time, this will increase your inflammation, it will increase your insulin, it will basically create more problems than good. So the idea is to, so they've done a lot of research on what kind of protein you should eat. So the bottom line is plant protein. It comes down to vegetarian meal, where you eat the plant protein, and not vegan but vegetarian. So that is what they figured, that vegan is probably not a complete profile, but vegetarian actually is a complete profile, because you also need a little bit of animal protein in your diet. So vegetarian meal will have all the dairy products included in it, plus the ghee. So that comes from the animal source, and then rest everything is vegetarian. So you do all the sabzis, and you do all the seasonal vegetables that you can do, all the fruits that you can do. It'll give you all the vitamins, minerals, and it'll give you the protein as well from the whole grains. And also don't take the shortcut of getting food from outside, because like I said, the industrial starch will kill it. It will give you the insulin spike, and you think, oh, I'm eating clean, but maybe I'm ordering from outside. All these. There are a lot of apps, the health apps, where you can order food from outside. But anything that gets commercially produced will have some kind of mixing and starch and things like that. They'll put to make it tasty, or some bad quality oil and stuff like that. So and in India, I think we are in a great advantage. You have seen that when you live in UK, you have to make your own meals, and you have helps over here who can cook for you. And you also get seasonal vegetables over there which you don't get in UK.
Fruits at a cheap cost. I couldn't eat that many fruits over there, because it was like £3 for like a small Yeah.
Expensive as well as only 3 or 4 different types of foods.
There's
You
no
don't
variety.
get variety.
And it's also not in season. They're like from different countries, depending on what sells. So,
So the quality of the fruit in India is much better. Because it's more local, more seasonal, and it's also very inexpensive. So you get we get muungfali.
So many things.
Then there is a season in which we'll eat the water chestnuts. Then there is a season where we will eat these boiled peas and stuff like that. We'll put some masala in it and do that. Then there is this the cholai that comes, that we bhuno it and Papa eats that like with salt and stuff like that. That comes as well. So there are a lot of things that we eat throughout the year, which are seasonal in nature. And you'll get it in 50 rupees, 25 rupees, 50 rupees. Like, it's like really, really, really easy on your pocket, but really, really good for your health. It gives you the protein, and you can't go wrong with these things. And it's all plant protein. So you're not even relying on too much chicken and too much eggs, and which are expensive. And they are also being commercially produced now. So again, the quality is going down. It's no longer like, local farm that you had from where you'll source the chicken and the eggs from. So you are getting it from a commercial place. So the moment it becomes mass and commercially produced, then the quality will start getting impacted. So
and then on top of this, we also did things to detox the livers. Liver. You would give me. Still taking them every day. It's annoying, but I have to do it. So what all do you give me?
So we're trying to clean your liver. So take me through your routine. I think that'll be good. That what are the things that you're doing? And how you're exercising, and
So in the beginning, I think it was more intense because we wanted to get the process started. So I cut out sugar. I didn't eat outside except for one meal. And then every day I'd wake up and we'd have this soaked, what is it? I don't even know what you're giving me anymore.
So we soak methi dana. So methi dana, 1 spoon of methi dana and 1 cinnamon stick. That's basically good for your insulin management, and it really reduces the blood, the glucose exposure in your body. So that we soak overnight, and then we chano it in the morning, and I give that one glass of water to you.
Then we soaking black sesame seeds in my hair.
So black sesame seeds, 1 spoon. We are soaking it overnight, then boiling it in the water in the morning. It turns little black, and then we drink it in the morning. So that's for hair.
And soaking almonds and raisins
and kesar.
And
so so we do 5 almonds and 1 walnut. Soak it overnight, peel it, and give it to you. And then we do 5 raisins and 3 strands of kesar. Soak it in water, and you drink that water, and you have the raisins in the morning. So that is what you do. And then, so we do the amla, because amla is in season right now. So we do amla, ginger, and turmeric shot for you. So we do 1 amla, a small piece of fresh ginger, small piece of fresh turmeric. We blend it in the mixie with water, chano it, and put a little salt in it. Salt is very important. Add a little salt, and you drink that in the morning as well. Other than that, I ask you to drink a lot of water. So
and this naturally happened because in the first week, I mean, obviously I was very irritable, and I was not, because it's a transition, your body's detoxing. Including, I mean, I heard that the liver stores anger. I don't know if this is true, but
it is.
Because of that, I was just really angry all the time, and also I couldn't eat anything, and I'm like, why me? So I was, it was very hard, and I also started getting really thirsty. I've been somebody who does not drink water, and I cannot eat a meal without drinking water. I cannot step out of the house without drinking water. I drink so much water now. And what else?
So water was basically when you were not giving up on sugar. Basically, sugar gives you hydration, right? So you feel this false sense of I'm good now. So the sugar helps you, coffee helps you, but then when you skip that, then you actually feel dehydrated, and then you need water.
So I would. So after that, in the morning, I've been going to the gym. I try to go every other day, but that does not happen. So it's just generally moving your body. Try to do it every day. I haven't, but I still have results from so I try to do cardio. every time I go to the gym. So like 15 minutes on the treadmill. Sometimes I jog, sometimes I don't jog, but it does help.
But it's not giving you any spotting anymore.
No spotting anymore, and I just make sure that my heart rate goes up so that I'm
sweating it up and setting it up. Yeah,
which you've told me that you need to be sweating.
Yeah,
for it your body
for the detox. Yeah.
And then I do like weightlifting, but nothing too heavy,
intense. Yeah.
Because I just listen to my body. If I'm not feeling up to it, I won't push myself. If I am, I will. And it's very chill. I'm there for an hour. I focus a lot on like stretching. I do a lot of stretching for like 10 minutes. I'll try to do some abs, but it's mostly just stretching. And then I don't really eat in the morning, but I'll have like a nice lunch.
Yeah.
With dal, sabzi, roti, and salad, and water, and sometimes
kanji,
like dahi. When it was summer, I was eating dahi every day, like homemade. Yeah. So that would fill me up, like satisfy me, and it would be really nice.
Yeah, and the salad that we make is from black chana, white chana, or some kind of protein sources that in there, sweet potato, and we'll add some fruits, we'll add some walnuts in it, we'll put some spinach, we'll make it really nice.
Yeah,
and you have a big bowl of that, and dal and sabzi, a lot of sabzi. So we get 2 sabzis made, sometimes 1. So you are eating a lot of palak, which is a liver cleanser.
Yeah.
So beetroot is a liver cleanser.
Yeah. Good.
Yes, yeah. And fiber. So you get a lot of fiber, you're getting a lot of proteins.
Are multigrain.
Yes, our rotis are multigrain. So we do the 1 kilo jaw, 1 kilo bajra, 1 kilo ragi, 1 kilo jwar, and 7 kilos of wheat. I get it
to lower the sugar spike and to increase the fiber content.
Yes, yeah. So then the meal is quite filling.
Yeah, very filling.
Yeah.
And I'm usually good to go. I'm generally somebody who doesn't snack, luckily.
Which is good. Yeah.
So, but I in the beginning, I've just been having makhana. I've been having like fruit.
Yeah.
Eat a lot of fruit, nuts, seeds, to get me to like last me until dinner.
Yeah.
And dinner is still like a little less heavy. It'll be like more on the light side. But in dinner, we would, cook a nice meal at home, pasta.
We do pasta. We do
burrito.
We do a burrito. We do a chicken burrito as well.
Like we've introduced chicken back into my diet, and like anything, and like whatever you want, you can just make it at home. And it'll taste.
Yeah.
Maybe
you had mulika paratha.
Yeah, paratha.
Sometimes.
Paratha. Like I'm not going to deprive myself because I am eating 2 meals in a day.
Yeah.
So it's okay. And if it's not from outside, then it's also fine.
Yeah.
And so another thing I would do, like, because I cut out sugar, like if I wanted something sweet, I'm still having 85% dark chocolate.
Yeah.
And some almond butter and a date. That would be my dessert in the beginning.
Yeah.
Now I don't need that anymore. But basically, like, my palate has changed. So after 2 weeks, I was not craving the same things that I wanted.
Oh, this is really important because in first 2 weeks, people tend to give up because they feel like it's not working.
Yeah, because it's very hard. It's not easy. But it's worth it.
Because it's addiction, right? Like addiction of eating, regularly or drinking or eating a particular kind of thing which gives you the kick.
Yes.
And that kick gives you dopamine and you feel like this is it.
It's no less an addiction because if you go out, like the food, chefs will do anything to make the food taste good.
Yeah.
And that usually involves putting fat, sugar, and salt. And that combination, I think, does something to the brain. I don't know what it is. But basically, if you just cut that out, you will realize that like your whole like taste profile just you will find more pleasure from simple things. In fact, sometimes if I do eat out, I'm like, that was not good. Like I didn't like that, and I just wasted my meal on like something that doesn't even taste good.
But again, the industrial starch comes in, from outside why they feel more tasty, more, it's filling, and it's more creamier and the texture is like really creamy and stuff like that.
The effects of the meal on my body immediately. Like my face will puff up and I'll feel sluggish, I'll feel like tired, I'll feel bloated. So I can tell now because I've kind of given my body the opportunity to like recalibrate in a way. So
first 2 weeks are difficult. You need to just, be a little patient. And you also don't see too much weight reduction, right? In the first 2 weeks?
No, you don't.
No.
You don't.
You just probably lose the water weight.
Yeah. And you're like, why am I doing this? This is torture. Like it is hard, but, and also like a horrible thing is that like the society is manufactured in such a way that it is hard for you to make these decisions. Like I luckily my friends are not here right now because they went back to college and I graduated. So I didn't meet anybody. Like I just like locked myself in my room and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go to the gym and eat and I'm not gonna meet anybody, because every time I met anybody, it would be over food, over coffee. Let's go get a sweet treat. Let's like the whole social fabric is around food and drink.
Yeah.
And it's so harmful. And then on top of that, we live in a city that is not walkable. So that is like double whammy.
Yeah. And because otherwise in UK, you would average a person can do easily 10 to 15,000 steps easily.
Very easily. And I miss that. But yeah. So in the beginning, it was more strict, I will say. But then I think we started like, introducing
variety. And so, even like a laddu here and there, you've got like a besan laddu made, which was with less sugar and you enjoyed it. And, so if it is at home and it is made with love, I think that also makes a difference, right? It does. So it's not something that you just commercially just making, ordering it and just eating it mindlessly. So that has made a difference. So energetically, how do you feel? Like what are your energy levels?
I feel amazing. Like I feel so good. Like I just couldn't stop talking about how amazing I felt like all the time. Like I'm like, I have so much energy. I sleep better.
Right.
I wake up less groggy with less brain fog. And also like the weight just shed off, like without me even trying. Like I'm just making these like good decisions and like the weight just like is just dropping off, but not in like an unhealthy way, but in like a way that like my face is just like glowing and like there's no like inflammation anywhere. And it's been like amazing. And if I knew how effective it was, like I would have done this before, because now it's like I'm like every time I have sugar, I'm like I know the cost of this.
And you've changed the way you have your coffee as well, right? You used to drink. I
could only drink coffee with sugar. Like I'm like, what is the point of drinking coffee if there's no sugar in it? Because it was an addiction. Like I couldn't get through the day without sugar. Like I'm like I need to have at least chocolate or biscuit or something. And now it's like I don't need it anymore. Now I enjoy coffee with no sugar. Like I love coffee with no sugar. I love dark chocolate. I love fruits. I love more bitter things are also like I like them more, and I'm not really craving like cream and dairy as much anymore.
Good.
So that's also like you need to realize that it's not that you need to suffer. Your taste will change. And it will become easier for you.
That's very important because it feels like it's a mental block, right? It's a punishment. Like it's not a punishment if you start. When you start seeing the results. Second, when you see that your energy is so much better, your productivity goes up, you feel better, and then when you see the results coming in, and also as you start enjoying those kind of foods, you start loving them as well. So it's not like a punishment at all.
Exactly, right? It's not, and it's not like I'm not going out and eating. I do go out with my friends. I do eat meals here and there, but I think the most important thing is to not give up. Don't give up and throw all of it away. Every time you mess up, just pick yourself up and be like, okay, tomorrow I'll just go back to my same routine. You don't need to also cut down the next day and just starve yourself. Just keep going. Because that's where people
go wrong.
And then they give it up. You don't give it up. Just keep going. Like I just keep telling myself, just keep going. Just keep going. Like even if I feel like, okay, I'm good now, just keep doing it. Because that's consistency is what gets you results.
Yes. And so tell me more about your hair then. How's your hair doing?
So I have like tons of baby hair like popping out, and like I feel like, oh my god, what's happening with my hair? But like it's become so much thicker. I mean, you oil my hair and I'm like, Mama, how is it this time? And you're like, it's actually better. So it's like definitely thicker, but there's a regrowth happening in the place where I started balding. Which is significant. And
so we did the oiling as well.
Yes,
for the hair.
Oiling,
so oiling is very, very important.
Every week. Which oil do you use?
So the one that Nani made, which is basically where she's put like lots of herbs and stuff like that. So right now we're using that. Otherwise, which is another very good one, is Neel Brigadi oil, which you get from Kotakal. It's one of the best oils for regrowth. So if you're looking at that, but we had this homemade oil, so we use that. But if anybody is looking at for a a proper method to make that oil at home, we can share that next time. So that oiling you're doing, then you're tell me more about the supplements that you've been taking.
So I've been taking hair fat supplement. I've also been taking your supplement, which is amazing. I mean, like, what have people said about your supplement? Like,
so we're getting very good results with women supplement. There are a lot of people who have had like very bad PMS, mood swings, and period not coming on time. Things have regulated for them. They used to have a period flu just before period. That all it's trying to resolve that. So it's also a lot of people are using it as a prenatal as well. So just before they're trying to get pregnant, they're taking a woman supplement.
So this is a cyclical supplement. So it is there are no supplements out there that I know of which syncs what you're taking according to which phase of your cycle you're in. So it's specifically designed for women. And their menstrual cycles. And it'll change what you're taking based on the phase. So if you're in your luteal phase, it's different. If you're in your follicular phase, it's different. And because of that, the effects are like much better.
So what we do is in the first phase, we give you more iron and vitamin C because you're in the bleeding phase. Then in the ovulation phase, you need a good egg quality. So we've given you more CoQ10 and more antioxidants in that formulation. So you're basically you start from day one of your period, and then you go. And every 7 days the bottle changes. So every 7 days your formulation is different. So first 7 days you take the follicular one, then you take the ovulation one, and the third one is actually when you detox your liver. So because estrogen is leaving the body at that time. So we've put a lot of liver detox elements in the third phase. And in the fourth phase, we have given you nutrients like B6, vitamin E, sesame extract, which can help you with your PMS and mood swings. So that is how it is designed.
I mean, I would recommend, I'm not just saying this because I'm her daughter, but it's amazing.
So it's really working
and
well.
People have like been raving about it as well.
So we're getting good results from that. And then so supplements we've covered covered your lifestyle. Sleep, any change? Sleep is okay.
Sleep is huge. I sleep very deeply now, like very very deeply. I don't wake up in the middle of the night. I don't dream as much. It's just it's very good. Like I wake up feeling well rested, which I was not. Like I would sleep like 10, 11, 12 hours and I would feel like
tired.
So tired, like so unbelievably tired. Like it would significantly impact like my quality of life because I'm like, how am I gonna get through the day? Like I feel so tired.
And also you haven't fallen sick, touch wood.
I haven't.
Your immunity is much better now.
My immunity has gone up. And
the sinus and cough and congestion.
Which was horrible. Like I would fall sick. Like, okay, I would fall sick every 2 weeks, but in between that also, like one day if I'm tired, I'll just get a cold. Waking up with a cold, like it was so bad. And
so that also is because there's more mucus in your body, and the more mucus is because of more dairy and more fat consumption. So when you reduce that and you start to clean your liver, then you will see that the sinus and congestion will also.
I mean, this is true because I sing also. So before my vocal exams, my teacher would tell me to cut out dairy because it produces mucus.
So that's interesting. So things like honey and ginger, lemon, black pepper, these are things which will cut the mucus. So, and again, these are liver cleansers, right? So they clean the liver, they cut the mucus, and they reduce that fat element in your body, and then you feel better.
I think also another thing that was very significant in this whole transformation was like this concept of shame. Because, it was kind of like a cycle where I've gained weight, I don't feel good in my body, and then I also on top of that beat myself up about it, and I say like, how can you let this happen to you? So that also collects in the body, and you feel tired and sluggish, and like your whole body slows down because it's not happy with the way that you're talking to it. So it's not that it went away immediately, but when I got diagnosed with PCOS, like I was crying and I just felt like I did this to myself, and I just couldn't, I felt bad. But I think what I've realized is that it is so common right now to get PCOS. And it's not because people are failing, it's because like society is failing.
It's failing us,
And we're not educated on what is good and what is bad. And we don't have the opportunity. Like I am in a position of privilege that I can take 3 months off and just stop everything to focus on my health. But people don't get that opportunity. So it's important to like not feel ashamed of what your body is.
Especially because there are some people who inherit bad livers.
Exactly.
So I think yours is a classic case where your body type is like that, where you have a general tendency to accumulate more. Because you said that you lose weight and you put on weight very quickly. It's a body type. So your body type is very different from mine. I would struggle to put on weight, and you would put on weight very easily. But you lose weight as well, which is like a pitta body type. So you sometimes inherit that kind of liver, which tends to accumulate.
And I mean, like Indians generally, also we are inclined to insulin resistance because of the history of colonialism, but that's a different topic. But there are so many factors, and you can't exactly blame yourself, and that also impacts your healing. So it's all like, it's mental, it's physical, it's spiritual, like all of these things like matter. And it also, like, it works backwards. So if your body is healing, your mind will also heal. Like that's what I've also felt.
All the other way around as well. Like you want to talk about that as well a little bit. Like you've worked on your mental health as well a lot, right? Like you've actively tried to feel like why are you feeling like this? And you've worked on your emotions and stuff like that. And does that have an impact on how then you take charge of your body? Because if you're not mentally feeling that, how do you actually take charge?
Definitely. I mean, I went to a life coach, and she essentially like kind of shifted the perspective in my brain. Where before, like, during my last 2 years of school, where I was very stressed, very hard on myself, I was probably my highest weight and inflamed. Like I looked like a completely different person. And what was happening was that I was so mean to myself because I didn't like what I was seeing. And I had this like version of myself that I wanted to be. And it wasn't, there was like a disconnect. So that really, it was just killing me. And what I realized from her is that you don't know what is good for you and what's bad for you. So all you can do is like listen to your body and let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. So after that, what I started to do is like, drop all expectations, like just do what
from yourself.
Do what your body is telling you to do. So I naturally started gravitating towards more healthy foods. I naturally started like wanting to go to the gym and moving my body. But before it was like, I need to go to the gym, otherwise I would stay fat. And now it's like, okay, I'm listening to my body. My body's like, I want to move. So I'm like, okay, let's move. So instead of like working against your body, you're like working with it. And so it all is connected. So
do you think movement also helps you release your anxiety?
Oh, 100%. Like movement. I would really like, I love to dance. So sometimes if I'm anxious, I'll put some music on and I'll dance, and I will feel so much better. And also running, like I used to hate running. Like I never understood, like, and it's not like I'm fast, but jogging and getting the sweat out, it's really good for somebody like me who has a very overactive mind. So kind of like disregarding the thoughts and like focusing on the body instead. It's great.
So I think that it's at the end of the day, it's the energy, and energy is trying to release.
Exactly. Right? And if it's stuck in your body, it's essentially stuck. So that's why you have inflammation and like it's stuck in your liver.
It's stuck in your liver.
Nothing's moving smoothly.
So, like for example, there are a lot of people who say if you feel stressed, go for a walk. That is exactly what it does. Is that you go for a walk and then you just releases that energy, which is like even your thought is a type of energy, right? So it's just moving in your body a lot, and it needs an exit. So sometimes when you move, when you dissipate that energy, it just kind of leaves your body and you start feeling better. So so that makes a huge difference as well. So
I think it's the same thing like with lymph. Like your lymph needs to move to detox your body.
Yes. So exactly that. So
it's all connected, and like I don't think I realized how if your body is healing, it will heal everything. It won't just heal like one thing. It will heal like your brain, your mind, everything. And now I can actually say that. Like I can vouch for that. Like yes, everything has healed. And I can feel it.
And also I think what body is trying to do is always trying to heal you. It's trying to heal you. So for example, if you like, I give you an example that if you get a cut, it's trying to heal you. It immediately goes
communicate with you.
It wants to communicate with you as well.
Because it can't physically communicate with you, right? Like your body can't say, hey, this is happening with me. So it'll show you signs. And you have to listen to it.
So it's like you don't have to put a band-aid on that. Like, for example, if I have an acne, I'll just put something and then it'll go away. But it's actually body trying to communicate with you there's something wrong. That's where the acne is popping up.
Exactly.
Look into it. What is it? And fix it.
Which
and
is why
then,
like skincare is what you eat, not what you put on your face.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So, and also it's trying to find its balance. So if you give it the environment that it needs, which is like sleep, exercise, good food, clean, clean food, clean thoughts, it starts to heal itself.
Yeah, which just seems very basic, but it does work. That's why people keep saying it.
Yeah. So you keep coming back to the same thing. Like, for example, when I was studying nutrition, and we were going through from one vitamin to the next. So vitamin A, what does it have? Like, what does it do? And then what are the sources? And then vitamin B, then B1, B2, B3. And I'm like thinking that everything comes down to whole foods, grains, eat more vegetables. Some vegetable has this more and some vegetable has... I'm like, why are we breaking it down so much? Like, why can't we just have the real food, and it'll do its job? Why are we segregating into vitamin A and C and D and E? Like, at the end of the day, you can't even memorize because they're all same. Like, where do you get the vitamin B from? It's all whole grains. And then C is coming from where? It's coming from fruit. So it's like, it's not rocket science at all. But I think it's more that people don't want to take charge, and so they're looking for a solution which is easier. There are no shortcuts, right? So you have to take the long route. And once you take the long route, you feel like
you can't go back.
You can't go back. But it's harder in the beginning because your body is not wired to do that. It's subjected to, a certain way of living for so many years.
Exactly.
And then when you start changing, it's like, okay, I don't like this. Like, you can't be eating like this because, you've given me sugar all my life. Now you've given it up. So it revolts. But that revolt is just temporary. And once you stop giving it the sugar, it'll be like, I'm fine. So I don't need the sugar now.
It'll be very happy.
Be very happy, yeah. So it's like dying. The old habits have to die, new habits have to, and it takes time. It takes time.
And I mean, it's not just me. I mean, I'm the last person to listen to you. Like, you worked with like countless people. And it all boils down to 3 months. And what you do in those 3 months and what you put into your body and how you move. And it works like a charm. Like, people are getting pregnant after not being infertile for like years. People are getting the period after not
having it for 8-9 months. It just goes missing.
The things that you've done are like crazy.
But I think also because see, the protocol that I gave you, I would not give it to everyone. Because your body type is that which needed that kind of support, right? So if somebody who would have come to me who was, because nowadays we also see lean PCOS. So people are very thin and have PCOS. Now, where is that coming from?
And what are the signs like?
So the signs are a lot of acne and a lot of hair fall. But they're generally looking very weak and there is no weight on their body. So in that case, again, it's the insulin spike, because, the people who are leaner, they are more junkies. They're bigger junkies. Why? Because the shame is not attached to the food that they are eating. So nobody tells them, oh, you can't eat this, you'll get fat or something. They never get told because they just burn everything, right? So they don't put on weight, so they don't have the shame. And when they don't have the shame, they just end up eating a lot more junk. So we cut out on the junk and we, in fact, give them more dairy, more ghee, more fattening things, which is lacking in their diet because they're just eating very dry food, basically. A little bit of chapati here, or they do have insulin resistance. They do have insulin spikes, but their sugar levels are absolutely fine. They have high insulin, and they also have typically they will have very low iron levels, very low vitamin D levels, B12 levels. So the nutrient deficiency is more rampant in lean PCOS people. So we have to fix their nutrient deficiencies. We have to then fix their diet. And we have to give them more fat in their diet, which they don't like. Usually lean body people don't like eating too much fat. So we have to give them fat so that it balances, because it's like, you need to maintain a balance. So some people are eating too much fat, you need to cut it down. And some people are eating no fat, then we need to add that. So you just give them that right balance. And then we see a correction there as well.
But so this, it just shows that you can't have a blanket statement that applies to everybody, which is what's happening on social media right now. That like somebody will say, yes, this applies to everyone, eat more protein. Like that's not true.
The other thing is which I have seen, which is... another thing which in reels we have seen, that a lot of people are eating a lot of raw salads. And raw salads actually so if you have lean PCOS, raw salads might not work for you at all, because raw salads are very drying, and they create a lot of vata in your body, which is like movement, because it's very air, like it has more air in it, right? It just doesn't have that grounding element. It's got no fats in it.
Yeah.
So it's just leafy greens that you're eating, and if you're lean body type, then it'll really not work for you, because then we have to cut down on those salads that they're eating, and and then include more grounding foods like full chapati, roti, dal, sabzi, and and everything cooked we introduce for them. For example, for your body type, salads will work really well.
Right, yeah.
Because we want to cut that, that fat, and we want to, clean the liver.
Yeah.
So for you, salad might work really well, but for a lean body type, salad might not work well. And the other thing is that what we are seeing is that protein might not work for them at all, because they do protein and then they add, a lot of things. You know how they make a smoothie out of protein and
you
fruits
mean like
and
protein supplements?
proteins. Yeah, so protein supplement, and then they add avocado, then they add some nuts and seeds, and then they add some fruit and almond milk and make a smoothie out of it, drink.
It doesn't work for lean PCOS.
Not for anyone, to be honest, because it actually impacts your gut in the long run, because it becomes like a toxic sludge, because protein interacts with fruit and fruit interacts with the avocado. They don't go well together. So when you mix them, it looks like, okay, you're just having like a potent drink, which actually gives you everything, but it doesn't work like that.
Right.
Sometimes you have a lot of stomach issues because of taking protein smoothies. Yeah. So you have to be very careful about. I'm not a very big fan of protein supplement, because I like the fiber, and protein supplement comes without the fiber.
Yeah.
So instead of that, if you take a vegetarian source of protein, which has a lot of fiber in it, it does the job. It gives you both.
So what is the difference between soluble and insoluble fiber? And I'm confused. It's too much.
It's insoluble is something that does not get dissolved, but it gives you bulk, to your bowel movement, basically. So for example, when you do the wheat atta, when you chano it, you have a lot of fiber that gets left out. That is insoluble form of fiber.
Okay.
Or for example, if you take like brown rice, the husk on top, the covering on top will be insoluble fiber.
Yeah.
Or if you take isabgol or psyllium husk as a supplement, that's an insoluble fiber. So it basically adds more bulk, and it absorbs a lot of water and adds more bulk to your bowel movement, but it doesn't get absorbed by the body. But then all the fruits will have soluble fiber in it. So you need a mix of both. Don't separate it. Just eat everything which is whole and comes from home and sourced from home, and it is fresh, it's seasonal. You cannot, and you saw it that when you during COVID, when we could not eat from outside.
Yes,
you lost a lot.
I lost so much weight, and I felt really good. And we were just eating at home because there was no choice. And it's not like I wasn't having sugar. Like I remember eating a lot of ice cream at that point, but I still it was it. I think the key is that is it easy for you to keep the weight off? And right now, for me, it feels like it is. And at that time, it felt like it was. But if you're doing it in a way that's like so hard, then maybe you need to make more changes to your diet.
Yeah. So, okay. So, I think this was very, 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 very good, because I think, coming from someone who's first-hand faced it, and understanding your body, and then trying to apply these simple strategies, if they can work for you, I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who will be listening to this podcast. They can take advantage of this. Feel a little bit more reassured that their strategy is not wrong. And if they have any questions, they can always reach out to us, and you will be able to answer them as well. From your experience, what works for you, what doesn't work for you.
And I think just like your page has like so much information available. So if just go through her Instagram account, watch everything. She has master classes, just filled with gold, and people need to see it. And take it a step at a time, and it should be fine.
It should work. But thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. This was lovely. Bye. Thank you. Bye.